Welcome back, scholars. I'm Lilly, and this is Scholarly Start. Consider this your field guide to AAA culture. My credentials? A curious mind. My methods? Unlimited prying. In today's episode, I'm introducing Caley Jackdaw, our newest AAA student, to Kiki's delivery service. Before we dive in, scholars, this episode contains narrative discussion. If you haven't seen Kiki's delivery service, hit pause and return after watching. I'm not going anywhere. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Caley Jackdaw.
Is that it?
Yes. How else would you introduce yourself?
Well, usually people use hobbies, their name, where they're from. We use the deity because we're the academy.
Well, my name is Caley Jackdaw. I like reading. I follow Cyrus, and I live near the Nexus.
You what?
I like reading.
No. The Nexus thing. The Nexus thing.
I live near Cyrus's Nexus.
I know what you said. Moving on. We have to get moving on, or we'll never leave. So, I first should watch Kiki's delivery service.
Sure.
Did you not watch it? Do I have to call Ezra?
No, I watched it.
So your thoughts?
I liked it. It had a very beautiful setting. I loved the music. I thought that it was really interesting. Of course, normal people aren't going to understand how our magic works, but I like that they used the magic in the story to represent mental health and inspiration.
I was really worried you stopped at you liked it.
I could tell. You looked angry for a moment.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to do an interview when people give one-word answers. Yeah, no, nah, sure.
Have you had this issue before?
Yeah, these students suck.
You're going to say that on air?
I'll edit it out. So, you and Ezra took notes as you watched. Was the broom one yours?
Yes, I find them fascinating. I've never ridden one before, mind you. Mother never trusted me with that.
Me neither. Those things are terrifying. Like, when you have to get up in the air on a little piece of wood with some straw. Ew. Gross. Terrifying. Never.
Is it still a common practice for the world? Mother made it out to seem like it was old school or outdated.
Not really. Nobody really transport things anymore, because it's like, oh, look, someone's flying on their broom. It's really freaking obvious. But it's still pretty used for sports and stuff. Yeah, like we have like 10 different sports teams that require brooms, and I'm like, what the heck do we need that many brooms for, guys? Not that crazy. Either way, yeah.
I suppose that makes sense.
So, your broom construction comment.
Oh, you don't want me to get into that.
Oh.
I found their construction somewhat aggravating.
I do. So rant your little heart out. Rant your little loner heart out. Okay? Tell me why brooms make you so angry. Or, well, those ones, but still.
Well, by binding the straw with... I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words without using my hands. Typically, you would bind the straw the opposite way than what you want it to go, and then fold it over and bind it again. This way, it's difficult for the straw to be ripped.
Interesting! That was interesting. You talked for longer than I thought you would. You sure know a lot about brooms. I think we're gonna move on from brooms. You're lucky that you don't listen to all of that.
All right, what else did you want to talk about?
What were some of your thoughts on Ezra's comments?
I thought they were, confusing.
Yeah, do you know what Where's Waldo is?
No.
Okay, Everyone, let me explain. Ezra watched the movie with Caley, and they took notes to give me the reactions as they went. Ezra said that Tombo, Kiki's love interest, was just Waldo without a beanie. It read, "Where's Waldo?" Looking for Kiki, of course.
Is Where their first name and Waldo their last name?
And suddenly I'm reminded why I offered to do this. I'm gonna have to record your reaction to Where's Waldo books.
I like books. I like reading, but I'm concerned.
There's not a lot of reading.
How do you have a book without reading?
You don't know what picture books are?
Why would you fill a book with pictures?
You poor sweet summer child. You had failed. Okay, everyone, we're bringing Caley back and having him react to children's books.
I've read children's books. The Lord of the Rings was one of my favorites.
Not a children's book.
The Chronicles of Narnia?
More of a children's book. Still not the kind I'm talking about.
A series of unfortunate events?
Less of a children's book. Still no. You're not getting out of this, Caley. I'm getting you children's books.
I'm not a child.
Now you are, because your childhood was so utterly ruined.
I liked my childhood.
Your childhood could still be terrible, and you could still like it. I liked my childhood and was well aware that it was terrible. Moving on. So, your slavery comment.
Well, Gigi, the little black cat, made a comment about how crows used to serve witches, and I thought it sounded interesting.
You know what? At least your parents? I don't know. I don't care. At least they taught you decent history.
My mother. Just my mother.
Oh, mood? Me too, bro. Bringing this back on track. What do you think about the theory that Ursula is descended from witches?
I think it would make enough sense, especially considering her advice landed so hard for Kiki and how she was able to befriend the crows so easily. Though I know that's not necessarily how their magic worked.
Yeah, this theory is pretty heavily based on the fact that she converses with the crows regularly. You know, despite the fact that people just talk to their animals, like their dogs or cats. My mom does it so often. We did not have the money for a cat.
Ezra had to sort of show me what cats were.
Oh, you've been failed by society.
If you say so. I enjoy living in isolation. It's peaceful.
Kind of boring, though.
Not if you have the right companions.
If you say that your companion is Cyrus, I will scream.
No, not quite. Maybe a good book, or my mother.
Oh my god, you did not just say that books are your companions. You look smug. That is not something you should be proud of.
If you say so.
You look... So it's a secret, huh?
I have favorites.
Like books?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
It's a secret.
I don't like you, Caley Jackdaw.
So I don't have to flip through children's picture books anymore?
When in the heck did I ever say that?
Well, if you don't like me, then why would you have me come back onto your podcast?
Because you don't want to read children's books.
I know you need my permission to record me. I could say no.
Could you? Where is Ezra's number in this thing?
Fine.
That's what I thought. And that's another case closed. If you enjoyed, drop a rating on today's episode, comment your thoughts and suggestions, share with your fellow scholars, and prepare for our next interview.